Honorable members, we had extensive discussion at conclave on this item. I want us to go by the agreement that was reached. Definitely we'll give opportunity to members, but we are guided by the agreement reached by leadership. And so we'll take item 11. It's likely to be the last for the day. Item 11, motion.
Thank you, Mr.
Chairman
Speaker.
of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I seek your leave to take item 11 on the original order paper and item 2 on the addendum order paper together. The reports are 2. One is on the original order paper and one is on the addendum order paper. So if I may seek your leave to take the 2 together.
Honorable members, I think it's proper to take the 2 together, unless there is any objection. Yes, Honorable Dafeamekpor.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to hear me by way of a preliminary objection regarding the prayer before the floor. Mr. Speaker, the subject matter of motion number 11 is in respect of the prayer before the House for the adoption of the appointment committee report in respect of the President's nominee before the House. Mr. Speaker, this matter is a subject matter before the Supreme Court. Mr. Speaker, this is the case where the Supreme Court has been prayed by the Attorney General for an expeditious hearing. And yet the matter has not been proceeded with. Mr. Speaker, the fact that my application on notice for the grant of an interlocutory injunction restraining the House from proceeding, which has been dismissed, does not mean that the House can proceed to hear the matter. Because a major relief before the court in this matter is whether or not the nominees can be approved without the President doing the needful in respect of the 5 other appointees. So, Mr. Speaker, the relationship, Mr. Speaker, is that it's a single action. My contention before the Supreme Court is that the communication to Parliament was not separated. The President brought one single communication. And my contention is that the supposed reassignment of the other 5 ministers ought to have complied with Article 78 and 79 of the Constitution. And so far as this matter is pending before the Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker, any attempt to proceed with the matter will be contumacious of the powers of the Supreme Court, will be subjugating justice in the matter. So, Mr. Speaker, I am the plaintiff in that matter, and I think that I owe it to myself to bring this matter to the attention of the House, so that we'll be guided accordingly. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. I should, say to Honorable Atta Akyea.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
I didn't see any lady on her feet. Oh, my daughter?
Oh, your daughter. But, Honorable Speaker, I'll be very brief. Yes.
Once we get to this stage, seniority counts.
Honorable Speaker, I am glad that you were saying through a very, very, very unpleasant situation of the plaintiff who's supposed to be in the Supreme Court trying to argue the case here. It's unfortunate. Please, I'm on my feet. Counsel, I'm on my feet. Essentially, I'm on my feet. Yes. Right, Speaker, You see, all the arguments of my learned friend and also a member of this August House, it was articulated in the Supreme Court. The interpretation of the matters is raised here is the remit of the Supreme Court, not this August House. And at the end of the day, I was trying to hear from him what is the injunctive order which is preventing an arm of government from proceeding with this work. He himself has considered that nothing binds you by way of an injunction, that this House cannot look at the matter. And what is worse? What is worse? You should look at the fact that if you want to stall the work of the government, and at the end of the day, you go and lose terribly in the Supreme Court, the cost is massive. And if you win, we are balancing the convenience and the inconvenience. And if you win, and they say that we should be reversed, that is the matter. But to say that the parliament of this country, without an injunction, should not go on with this work with the greatest of respect, it's a very, very gross misunderstanding of the Constitution and the arms of government and their various remedies. So, Honorable Speaker, there is nothing which is checkmating this House from determining the motion before you. Nothing whatsoever. And Council, you shouldn't invent one. You yourself, you've made a concession, and I think it's honorable that you lost on the injunction. And where there is no injunction, you cannot say you will fetter the one who has who hasn't been, restrained by the court. Honorable Speaker, I believe you should ignore what he said in terms of legislative functions. I know he is of emotive value, but it's of no constitutional value. And let us proceed with the matter. Because at the end of the day, nothing is preventing this House from doing our business. I'm grateful to you.
Yes. I want to hear one or two more before Chairman comes in. So please give me some time. Yes, my daughter, you are limited to make your submissions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on the matter that was raised by my honorable colleague on the other side, Honorable Dafeamekpor. And my senior at the bar, Honorable Atta Akyea, has enumerated a number of reasons. No, my senior is Honorable Atta Akyea. Honorable Dafeamekpor, who is a junior to me at the bar, but has raised a very important. He himself admits that he is a junior to me at the bar. I am junior to Honorable Atta Akyea, and I don't see why when I say Honorable Dafeamekpor is junior to me at the bar, you should raise eyebrows. It is a fact. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Atta Akyea has enumerated a number of reasons why this House cannot be held to ransom. Mr. Speaker, this is the House and a Parliament, an arm of government, and we are just separate and distinct under the Constitution. There's clear distinction of separation of powers when it comes to the Constitution that we have now, the 1992 Constitution. This simply means, Mr. Speaker, that Parliament as an arm, a legislative arm, is independent of the judiciary, is independent of the executive. Mr. Speaker, by the mere fact that there's a matter before the Supreme Court or any court of law does not deter this House from considering that matter. Mr. Speaker, that is so clear. Other than that, I wouldn't see why the framers of the Constitution, with the right intention behind separating each arm of government, would put that in the Constitution. It's for a purpose, Mr. Speaker. So the fact that Honorable Dafeamekpor has brought a matter before the court concerning the appointment of ministers which His Excellency has appointed, Mr. Speaker, I would indulge that you would proceed, this House will proceed with the report, because there is no way that the judiciary would be higher than the legislative arm. That same way, the executive is not higher than this House. So let's give each House or each arm of government the leeway and the freedom, Mr. Speaker, to do its business. What he's trying to do is to say that we should not proceed until the matter is heard. Mr. Speaker, I think that we are masters of our own rules and we are independent and we can proceed. Given the fact that it goes to the Supreme Court decides otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we can be here and do otherwise. But to say that we cannot proceed, I find it very, very. I think that it is not within the scope and application of the laws of this House, Mr. Speaker. So I would urge that we should proceed. Your injunction was thrown out, Mr. Honorable Dafeamekpor. Your injunction has been thrown out. So there is nothing that is tying the Speaker's hand from proceeding, or this House from proceeding on the matter.